In this session, we are going to learn how to pass a journal voucher. So first we'll understand what is journal. Journal vouchers are used to pass adjustment entries to adjust the debit and credit amount without involving cash or a bank ledgers. And basically this journal entries will be passed at the end of the year to adjust your financial statements. And this will be used to pass a provisional entries every month, and even if you want to allow a discount or if you are giving a discount or receiving a discount, even in that cases we use journal vouchers. So let's see in Tally Prime. So where is a journal voucher and what is its nature in Tally Prime? So we go with Tally Prime. So we have already created a company name called Avanayakta Solutions, and we are in a main screen of Tally Prime. So we go with vouchers. So to open a journal voucher, we go with a shortcut key panel. You can see the option called F7 Journal. You can click on it or you can press F7 in a keyboard. So this journal voucher will be passed in double entry system itself. You can't convert it into single entry mode or a double entry mode. It will be in double entry mode itself. And even you can't use this in item invoice mode, accounting invoice mode, or as a voucher. So in journal we have only one method to pass a transaction, which is our double entry system. So this can be converted into single entry system in only one scenario if you are using a multi-currency in your accounts to adjust your forex gain or loss. So only for those transactions our journal can be converted into single entry mode and we can pass a transactions. So if you want to go with some other configurations, so we are getting buy and to here. If you are not familiar with that, you can go to F12 configuration and you can enable use credit or debit instead of to and buy during a voucher entry. So we'll enter this option and we'll accept the screen so that immediately it comes to debit and credit. So let's pass some transactions here to understand why we use a JV, why not the other transactions. Generally in your college days when you are doing a PUC or a PG, UG, so all the transaction we used to pass it in journal itself, and then we used to post it into our ledger and then trial balance, P&L, balance sheet. This was the workflow of a first transaction to the financial report. But in Tally software, so we have a different voucher types for a different transactions, and journal will be used only for our adjustment entries or a provisional entries. So we go with some transactions here. So rent for the month of October paid in November 5th for rupees 15,000. So the rent is an expenses done in the month of October and paid in the month of November. So in our books of accounts in my P&L for the October month, I should show there is an expenses of 15,000 for rent and which has to be payable in a future date. And when it comes to our November month, when we are making a payment, at that time we use a payment voucher. For this transaction, we'll pass a journal entry on 30th October so that the transaction will affect my profit and loss account as expenses taken place in the month of October, and in the balance sheet saying that it has to be payable in a future date. So let's see how to pass a transaction. So we need to debit the expenses. Our rent account is not created here. So we go with the option called create. Rent is an expenses. We go with indirect expenses, which will affect my profit and loss account. So all your expenses has to be debited. So we go with 15,000 rupees and we'll credit rent payable account. So we go with create option. Even this ledger is not created. So we go with rent payable account and provisions. So provisions in the sense, in a future date we are going to make a payment, and this transaction has to be passed on 30th October 2020, and the same will be paid in the month of November. So we'll accept this transaction with a narration being rent payable entry has been accounted. For the month of October, and we'll accept the screen. For a better understanding, we'll see a report. So we go to our profit and loss account. So in indirect expenses, it is showing a rent of 15,000. If you see a report till 30th October, it is affecting my profit and it is showing our expenses as 15,000. And the same amount in a balance sheet, it shows in a provisions as which you have to make a payment of 15,000. So when you make a payment, so at that time this will get removed. So we'll pass a payment entry for a better understanding. So we go with a voucher payment. The shortcut key is F5. So we go with cash. So in this payment voucher, we should not use rent account. We should use rent payable account, and we are making a payment. And this will be passed on 5th November, being rent paid by cash for the month of October, and we'll accept the screen. So now if you see a report, if you go to a profit and loss account, indirect expenses, the rent is still showing 15,000 rupees itself. It has not multiplied by 2. So we have passed 2 transactions. One is journal entry, which we have accounted as payable, and then we have made a payment. So in your expenses, it remains as 15,000, and in your balance sheet provisions, it will be 0. So we're supposed to make a payment, we have paid a payment, so the balance has become 0. So it is not showing in my provisional report. But if you go to a cash ledger, we are paid through cash, right? So if you go with a cash ledger, it shows that you have paid a rent for 15,000 here. So this is how you can use a journal vouchers. With the same scenario, we'll pass one more transactions. So we'll see even that. So discount allowed for energy systems for rupees 10,000. So if you take a reference of your sales voucher class, we have made a sales for energy system. So now we are allowing a discount for the same. So if you are allowing a discount for your customers or you are receiving a discount from your suppliers, we use a journal voucher itself to adjust your reports. So we'll see the transaction, how to pass it in Tally Prime. So we go with journal. So discount, even this is expenses for you because you are allowing or you are giving a discount. A discount ledger is not created yet. So we go with the create option and we'll create discount allowed and indirect expenses, and we'll accept this screen. So we have given a discount of 10,000 rupees and we will credit our NRG systems, and we'll give a narration that discount allowed to NRG systems, and we'll accept the screen. So this is how you can pass a journal entries. So if you are receiving a discount, if the supplier is allowed a discount for you, in that case you will credit a party and debit the discount received. The transaction will be the same, only the ledgers will interchange from debit to credit and credit to debit. So in this transaction we are giving a discount for NRG system. NRG system is a customer. We have sold the goods and I'm allowing a discount for NRG system. In that case, a discount will be expenses for me, so I'll be debiting that and I'll be crediting a NRG system. If my supplier gives a discount for me, in that case I'll debit a supplier and I'll credit a discount received. So discount received as the income for me and it should be credited. So we'll accept this. So we have understood how to pass a journal entries by using a Tally Prime software. Thank you.